Holy cow.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Welcome to an engine rebuild video. It's been a while since I rebuilt an engine, but as you know from a recent episode, I went up and picked up a tractor from my friend Nick from Bellport. Make one out of... In addition, he had 3 blown single-cylinder Briggs and Stratton engines off of lawn tractors that were all blown, that he didn't want. So I brought all 3 engines home, and I did a forensic autopsy teardown video on all 3. I was hoping that I was going to be able to have enough parts to take the 3 blown ones and make 1 good one. Well, I was bored the other day and my projects were all done because the neighbor who wanted me to fix their handheld leaf blower came to pick it up.
That sucks, bro. You want to try it?
No, I got it.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good, man. And I just put the old sticker off the wheel thing, so you know what I mean? You want the old part?
Nope. Throw it out.
All right, man.
All right, see you later.
Take care.
You too. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I like that bike. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of good ones.
That's awesome.
All right, man. See ya.
And in turn, my friend Alan decided that he was willing to pay me $150 for the Husqvarna backpack blower, the 150 BT that I was going to list for $225. But I said, if your friend wants it back, I'll just charge him $150 for the labor that I did on changing his piston and rings. And he's like, yeah, we'll do that. So he came over and he gave me $150 to get his Husqvarna backpack blower back.
Oh, yeah.
No, my sister was on the board.
Oh. No, I was in Huntington at my shop. At your shop?
Yeah.
What shop?
New York Avenue. I have a yard there.
I don't understand.
The less you know, the better.
Yeah, probably.
How's this unit?
Oh, dude,
You recommend it?
No, because we had a power outage yesterday because of all the wind going on.
Is this me here?
Yeah. Want to try it? Now listen.
Yeah.
You gotta tell the guy.
Yeah.
You gotta put crew fuel in there.
Is that pre-mix shit?
Yes.
Is there any in it? No.
I put pre-mix in it,
Okay.
but you can't just run it with regular
He didn't
shit.
do it. One of the guys did. That was
What guys?
one of the guys working at the house.
Oh God! I mean, if they're working in the house, should they not know how to use this thing?
I don't want to turn it on.
Oh, you don't.
Don't trust it. They're going to stick on my car.
I got a couple videos coming out about it.
The door wasn't scored up?
A little on the very bottom.
Okay.
That's why I figured I'd get away with it. Is because the heavy scoring is on the bottom of the cylinder, the rings don't even reach it. You follow?
starts and runs. And I only spent $30 on fixing that thing. It did take me a few hours, but you know, it was fun. So the respective owners came and picked up their respective leaf blowers, and I hope they're happy. So all I had left was this thing. So I decided to just slowly start to clean things up, get rid of all the metal shards, blowing carb spray throughout the whole thing, compressed air, blowing it all out, and then start oiling it with a little bit of assembly lube. And what happened was I took the original crankshaft, which was attached to the synchro balancer, and I decided that I was just, because the crank bearing journal was all, you know, had a lot of aluminum transfer, right? So I got one that I had from one of the other engines that had a nice journal, because the brake was really high up inside the piston, that it didn't create any damage on the crankshaft. So then I put it in along with the connecting rod that I had from another engine a little while ago. This is the original camshaft. I put the tappets in, the rods, whatever, and here is the synchro balancer from this one placed on a crankshaft from another one, and the connecting rod from another engine. So when I was getting ready to put this together, I had a couple of sump covers in my shed over there. And then I took the sump cover that I had. This is the one that has the oil filter on it, right? Because it has an oil pump. And so I proceeded to put it on. And then I noticed that, well, where is the crescent moon kind of half semicircle, you know, that holds, that part that goes right like that, right? That holds this alley, this channel right here of the synchro balancer. It wasn't there. And the original sump cover had that. So I need that. All my sump covers do not have it. Also, you'll notice this. Check this out, which is very strange. Because I've built over a dozen engines, and I've never had this problem. I think I was just lucky. But this is completely the wrong sump cover to this particular model engine, because the diameter of this crankshaft is too thick for this, which I thought was crazy, because I thought they all fit the same way. So I had another one that did not have the oil pump on it, right? Also, same problem. The hole was too small for this, the thickness of this crankshaft. I was like, what is going on, man? So I'm gonna need a sump cover. There's no way out of it. And then I thought, wait a minute. What about the timing marks? So I've got the camshaft timing mark perfectly aligned with my crankshaft gear mark. You guys can see that? There's a dot there on that tooth, and it coincides with that dot on the cam. So that's fine, right? Now I wanted to make sure of something. So look at the orientation of the crankshaft. See the blob here where it connects to the connecting rod? Just pretend that this is at the 10 o'clock position, right? And you notice here, the key is about 9:30. Okay, so just remember that. Actually, if you just look at the key, it lines up with the, you know, connecting rod part that goes outwards like that. So let's just call that 10 o'clock. All right, 10 o'clock. Then coming to the flywheel part of it, where is the key? pointed, because I remember that they were different. So look at the key. Here's the key for the flywheel. Let's just call that 530, okay? It's not perfectly 6 o'clock, but 530, right? So this was the original crankshaft that I took off of that synchro balancer, and this was the original crankshaft from this engine block. Okie dokie. As you can see, I didn't use it because of the aluminum transfer on the journal. So let's just point this about here, mimicking the exact same position this crankshaft is in. And as you can see, the key is pointed in the same direction. Okay, so that's good. I just wanted to make sure I had the right timing and the right crankshaft. And if you look at this, the way it's orientated, where is the key? The key is also in the 530 position. So I do have the right crankshaft timing for this particular model engine block. As you can see from this one here, which is also a single cylinder Briggs crankshaft, right? It says 352 on it. You'll notice that in the same orientation, the key way on the bottom is pointed in the right direction. But then if you look over here to where the flywheel is, it's completely different. This one is at 12 o'clock, while this one right now is pointed at 3 o'clock. Completely different timing marks. So if I put this, and I thought I was gonna, if I put this crankshaft in here, it wouldn't work. So there's also two different kinds of flywheels too. This was the original flywheel off of this engine block. It's the more modern one. You could tell the difference. It has like these 4 ditches, trenches in here, right? And it just looks different with the magnet here. So if you look at the keyway there and the magnet there, when this keyway is on the crankshaft, the magnet has to be touching the magneto, like the timing. Let me show you the other kind of flywheel. Here is the other kind of flywheel. And let's just point the magnet towards me to get a better idea. So, okay, so there's the magnet, there's the magnet. There's the keyway at 7:30, and this keyway is at 5:30. So it's completely different timing marks. As you can see also, it differs in the look. These have these 3 ditches. This one looks just alone by itself. This small one looks similar to this one, just reverse in direction. So that's that kind. This one, as you can see, has that kind of ditch, but no other 2 like that. But rather it has these 4 trenches like that. You can see that these are the most common ones being sold on eBay. Most common ones used. But as you can see, if you use the wrong flywheel, that won't start because the timing marks are off. But I am happy though that the original crankshaft that I put in here matches, the timing marks matches exactly of the one that I put in. So I don't have to take it out. The timing's right. I just got to make sure I use the right flywheel because I was going to just pick one and put it on, which I've done before in the past and they've worked. But if I put this on here with the timing marks in tune, I would imagine that the magnet would be somewhere around. That may not be right either, because look, the magnet would be over here. We'll have to see, but I have choices of this one or this one. I'm pretty much going to go with this one because this was the original one off of that. Verified that the crankshaft that I replaced is in the same orientation and key and timing as the original one. Now, I want to tell you something, though. The crankshaft that I put in there looked like this one. It looked like that one. Well, if you look at it, it doesn't really look like the one that originally was in there. Look at these weights over here. They're very narrow. Okay. And look at the weight of this one. Look, they look different. Like this is heavier and beefier. I'm a little worried about it, but definitely can't use this one because this one has the wrong timing. There's the key there, and the original one, the key is showing right there. So it's pointing in the wrong direction. But the one that I put in here does match in the timing, albeit heavier weight over here. But I basically need a sump cover. I need a sump cover that has that crescent moon thing, which is the guide that goes into here. You know, that line that goes like that, the crescent moon, that sits right there and holds this balancer right there in the middle. So that's all I need. I just need a sump cover for that. And even if I tried to put that in, it wouldn't fit because the crankshaft is too, diameter is too big for that hole.
That's what she said.
Amazing. I mean, it's really opened up my eyes on the way you put these together, because honestly, I probably put together about 10 Briggs & Stratton single cylinder engines. And I didn't have any of those problems. I did have that one mystery engine that no matter what happened, you just couldn't start it because the timing was off. And then I tried different areas where the magnet should coincide with the magneto as it went around. And I made my own keyway to work. And that, the reason behind that was I either had the wrong crankshaft or the wrong flywheel on with the different timing marks. So you just have to make sure that when you put the flywheel on, look at the position of where the timing is and where the magnet is in relation to the magneto. As it turns, the magnet passes through the magneto, and that's how you get the spark, to spark the spark plug. So I can't put this engine together. I need to wait for, if I get another engine from Nick in the near future, and hope that the sump cover is not broken and it will fit. It is the kind that I need for this one. From the top view, another reason why this sump is completely different than the one that I need is that if you look at this sump, right? Look at the circle here, coincides with that when you put it on like this, right? Look at the holes. The holes do coincide correctly. However, look, there's this channel. The holes protrude outward from that line. Whereas this one, the holes are in the line. See how this edge is straight? Well, this edge bubbles out for the hole. So when you line this up against that, this wall here is like in here. You know what I mean? So this sump wouldn't even fit in there, even if it did fit through the hole. So it's a completely different sump. Like I said, you need a straight semicircle thingamajig that goes over here that holds this channel here, that goes right in there and prevents the synchro balancer from moving left and right. It just allows it to sit there in the middle like that. I mean, I suppose that could do it, but then what about that? This thing is in the way. So this is just the wrong sump, you know what I mean? So I need the right sump to put this together, and then I would put the flywheel on, the magneto on, the intake manifold, the carburetor, and then this should be a working engine. So my goal was to make a video detailed on exactly how you put it together, right? But how can I do that if I wasn't sure myself? Obviously, I do not have all the correct components to put it together successfully. Because if I put something on that doesn't match, we're going to have a wah, 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 because when you're going to try to start it, it's not going to work because the timing is off. But right now, I feel that in relation to its original condition and form, where the timing marks were, on the right crankshaft, the right flywheel, where the keyway is and all that, I believe even though this crankshaft that I got from another engine from many years ago, whatever, is not exactly the same crankshaft as the original one. However, the timing marks coincide correctly with the original one. I just gotta wait for another sump cover. Yes, I could go and buy it on eBay. 60 bucks was the cheapest one that I could find. I'm not spending 60 bucks on a sump cover. When I used to get thousands of these and I used to throw them away because I never used them. Now when I need it, I don't have one. You see? That's why you try to keep everything, which is what I've been doing until recently where I cleaned out my shit. So, you know, it drives me crazy because, you know, I'll go years and never use that part until I get fed up and my garage is a complete mess and I start throwing shit away. And then a week later, after I clean out my garage, I go, I threw that away. Now I need it. I threw away a lot of good engine blocks too, like a few years ago. That drove me crazy too. But anyway, I need a sump cover, and until I get one, there won't be a video on this thing running. So this we'll put onto the side, you know, the side burner, and when I run into a sump, hey, that's a sump that'll fit my engine. I'll put it on there and we'll make another video. But for now, this is the progress that I've made on putting maybe 3-4 engines together into one. I think it's correct. I think it'll work. I'm just trying to decide whether or not I want a sump cover that has the oil pump on it, and in turn, do I change the magneto from a 10/16 type stator, which this is the green one, or put a dual circuit one? Do I want this engine to be a gravity fed type fuel delivery, or do I want the fuel pump kind, which means I have to put a pulse nozzle oil reservoir in and keep the PTO 10/16 stator on? Or do I go with gravity fed and put a regular dipstick on there that has no pulse line nozzle and a dual circuit red and black stator on there for just regular current, which wouldn't work right for an engine, a tractor that had electric PTO. But for what I want this engine to go on, it doesn't have electric PTO, and it is gravity fed fuel tank. So I want to try to make this as simple as possible. So I may have to remove this 10/16 stator and put in a dual circuit stator, put a regular oil dipstick in without the pulse nozzle, and we'll just make this engine a one for gravity fed fuel tanks. And we don't need a sump cover that has the fuel pump in it, which means you don't need the fuel filter on it, oil filter, I mean. I don't know, we'll get to that when I find a sump cover, right? Beggars can't be choosers. I can't say that I get a sump cover and say, oh, well, it isn't this and this and that, whatever. If it fits, I'm using it, and then I'll work around the rest of it. Anyway, that's what I did so far. You know, it was a pain because I had to get all the shards out of here. You know what I mean? It was a lot of debris from the busted stuff in there. So I had to blow it out with compressed air, degreaser, carb cleaner, all that. I had to put this crankshaft onto the synchro balancer of the one that had the transfer on. I had to use a link from another one and a link from another one because the link was broken here. Put together the crankshaft onto the links onto the balancer. I had to remove the valve cover so that I could put the push rods onto the rocker arms, right? Then get the camshaft in there with the tappets smoothly. And when you have them all lined up, that camshaft goes right in there without any kind of hesitation. It just slipped right in, as long as your timing marks were right and you had your push rods onto your rocker arms like that. If it was not timed right, you couldn't get that camshaft in there because the lobes would prevent you from getting the tappets over the lobes correctly. So I'm pretty confident that this in here, the innards, is built correctly. I just need a sump cover and I can put the rest together and we would have a working engine. So stay tuned for when I finish this, what do we call this? Mystery engine project. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
You're subscribed?
Subscribe.
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 Subscribe to it.
It's me. Hi. We need you to donate $1 or $2.
Hit the subscribe button. It's free.
We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.